Okay, let's try to be outside and because yesterday I was looking so tired as I was recording, but I'm really dedicated now. I'm gonna make this work. Openly, it's so hard to be consistent with something that you believe in, but no one needs, no, people need this. So this is why I'm speaking to you today. First thing, most importantly, your lungs are not in your face. Your lungs are in your rib cage. And if you look at your rib cage, it's starting right underneath your collarbones and moves down. Your rib cage moves down. I'm not going to stand up now, but if you can just touch your rib cage with your fingers, you're going to feel it almost finishes at the iliac crest. Your iliac crest are the both bikini bones on the top of the bikini bone of your pelvis. That's the iliac crest, and 2 to 3 fingers on top of your iliac crest, your rib cage finishes. And because of that, I'm not alone here. The ribs are moving from your collarbone down to your pelvis. And if you touch your front, so right underneath your collarbone, no, underneath your sternum, you'll feel that there is a soft tissue. This is because your organs, your intestine and other organs are hidden right underneath your ribs. If you touch your back with your fingers, you're going to feel that at your back you have ribs, not soft tissue. That's called your back. The ribs, back part of your ribs, are hiding your lungs. Your lungs are not in the front where your belly is. Your lungs are underneath your rib cage, and especially in the back. That's the first point that I want us to understand and to have a common ground what we're speaking about. The act of breathing. It will not happen in your face. Your nose and your mouth are connected and related to your breathing organs. If you breathe through your mouth, you are not going to have such a great connection to your breathing organs than if you breathe through your nose, because your nose is linked anatomically to your diaphragm in a way that your mouth isn't. Despite of that, the air needs to be humidified and also warmed up before it enters the body and cleaned through the hairs inside of your nose. So if you want to strengthen your diaphragm, just start to only breathe diaphragmatically. If you want to strengthen the diaphragm and breathe diaphragmatically, you are supposed to only breathe through your nostrils. No matter how small your nose looks like, no matter how small your nostrils look like, no matter how blocked your nose is right now, it will only unblock if you breathe through your nose. Why? Because there's a gas that is called nitric oxide. Nitric oxide is only built in your nose after an exhalation, which means, or during an exhalation, but it increases its production if you hold your breath after an exhalation. Nitric oxide is responsible for unblocking your nose, but also to make your lungs feel as if magical air is penetrating your lungs. What do I mean by that? You know this feeling when you inhale and you have the feeling that you can't inhale and that the air stays stuck at the top of your lungs, at the upper chest, in the upper chest area? That's because you don't have a good nitric oxide production. Because if you have a good nitric oxide production, your lungs are going to feel very opened up. That's a process that will take time, because if you're not used to produce nitric oxide, you have to get used to produce nitric oxide. Nitric oxide is being produced after short or longer exhalations. And the longer the break after an exhalation, the higher the production of nitric oxide. Nitric oxide is built in the nostrils and is then, with the next inhalation, going to move into your lungs. If you don't allow this process to happen because you're mouth breathing, you're shortening your exhales, and you're inhaling way too often per minute, we are having a problem, because it means that nitric oxide can't be produced. Nitric oxide is responsible to make your lungs feel good, but there's another thing. CO2 is only produced and the production of CO2 is only leveled up if you exhale very slowly. If you exhale very slowly and hold your breath after an exhalation, the CO2 production in your lungs is going to enhance. I'm repeating everything like a silly person so that it really lands in your brain. CO2 is what is responsible to slow down your fear reaction, slow down your reactivity, slow down your stress hormones, enhance your focus, improve the way you perceive. Give me a second again. It's so annoying that people talk to you whilst you're talking to other people. Okay. If you want to make sure that your muscles work well, that your brain is oxygenated, that you feel calm, at peace, and your nervous system can regulate itself in between parasympathetic tone, parasympathetic tone. I'm always getting a bit confused with English, Spanish, and German, so forgive me if I do mistakes in this language too. You want to exchange the sympathetic and the parasympathetic ability of the nervous system by staying flexible in its actions. If your nervous system gets stuck in one or the other, either too relaxed or way too stressed, then we're having a problem. Why do we have a problem then? Because that means that not only your nervous system can't regulate itself, but also your emotions, your thought patterns, your muscles, the tension in your muscles, the tone in your muscles is either too high or too low. Most of us suffer that. I've been suffering that as well. So this is why breathing consciously and exhaling slow is important. Why? Because our life is very stressful. Why? Because of the age that we live in. There is the internet, messages, people getting crazy, political systems getting crazy. So we need to make sure that we know how to regulate ourselves. How does that happen? Not by belly breathing, because you can't breathe into your belly. Why? Because there is no lung in your belly. And you can't get more air into your body by inhaling. You get more air into your body by exhaling slow. Why? Because every exhale decides what is going to happen with the next inhale. If you want to have great inhales, you need to focus on your exhales. And what else? If you put a timer on and you check how many times you breathe per minute, so 60 seconds, and you see how many inhales and exhales you take per minute. We count it like this. Inhale, exhale, 1 breath. Inhale, exhale, 2nd breath. Inhale, exhale, 3rd. Inhale, exhale, 4th breath. Let's say you took 4 breaths. It means that you're breathing very slow. If the number that you get in 1 minute ventilation is very high, it means that you're over breathing. Everything that is supposed to be high is more than 12 breaths. If you're watching this video, you're probably at home chilling, or in a train on your phone. Either way, you are probably in a relaxed situation. In a relaxed situation, it would be great that your breaths are slowing down, which means that your exhales should slow down whilst being at rest. Why? Because that's how you program your body to know what to do if not being at rest. For example, whilst running, stressed at work, being a CrossFit class, whatever it may be. So you need to program the 20 hours that you spend doing something at home or in your daily life to be more prone to have slow and less breaths per minute. Why do we need that? Because the slower we breathe, it means that the exhales are slowing down. It will also mean that your nitric oxide production isn't heightened. It would also mean that your CO2 production isn't heightened, which will increase your CO2 tolerance. But this is too complicated. Just stay tuned in the next couple of videos. Which is then going to lead to a better oxygenation of your brain, heart, body, mind, and emotional intelligence. The emotional intelligence can also be oxygenated because your emotions depend on physical chemical reactions. So you will not have a positive emotion if you don't have the chemical reaction that is producing the positive emotion. You're not going to have a negative emotion if you're not creating the chemical reaction that is creating the negative emotion. So for you to be able to increase your emotional intelligence, you need to know how to regulate yourself. Why? Because every emotion and every thought in your life is physical and is built on your chemistry. And so not only on the pattern that we have learned. So for you to take out of this video, the most important thing is that your ribs are underneath your head. Your ribs start at the clavicle more or less, and they end more or less at the pelvis, which means that your whole upper body is basically made out of 12 ribs. Most of the people don't know that we have 12 ribs on the left, 12 ribs on the right. There are 2 lungs inside of each rib. That's wrong. One lung inside of each rib means 2 lungs per rib cage. And the rib cage and the lungs are divided from the other organs through a diaphragm that is creating a wall underneath your lungs, protecting the other organs from contacting the lungs. With every inhale that you take, you're massaging your lungs. With every exhale that you take, your diaphragm is relaxing completely, moving up towards your heart. And with every breath that you take, you have the chance to regulate yourself. Slow exhalations, nasal breathing only. Nasal breathing only to enhance the connection to the type of diaphragmatic breathing. Diaphragmatic breathing means that the diaphragm is moving and flattening out, expanding whilst you inhale. It also means that your diaphragm is relaxing, moving up whilst you exhale, moving towards your heart. And it means that you are having less tension in your neck and jaw. Last thing, for your jaw to be placed in a way that it's good for your airways, you are going to put your tongue at the roof of the mouth so that no air can enter your mouth whilst you're breathing through the mouth. This type of posture is going to prevent for air to come into your airways through the mouth. And I'm going to speak more about the posture of the tongue and what is happening in your face in the next video.